Ready for a big year, Calvin?
Definitely ready.
That's right, baby.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Welcome back to All About the Game. I'm your host, Jason. We're going to do a little recap of yesterday's visit to Pittsburgh Steelers training camp in Latrobe, Pennsylvania. What we seen, what we saw, what's going on. Just a little bit of what we saw and what we liked and disliked about camp this year. And just give you a little bit of a breakdown. Nothing crazy happened yesterday. It was the last day of unpadded practices in Latrobe. So we're finally going to get to see on Tuesday when these guys suit up and start hitting each other what this Pittsburgh Steelers team is truly all about. And when you don't have the physicality involved in practice, you really can't evaluate any player. You can say that they look good, and yes, they do look good in phases in certain areas with speed, agility, athleticism, some of the energy that's coming off some of these players. However, you can't truly wholeheartedly evaluate these guys and give them a fair shot until you see them with pads on. And that is just what it is, folks. And yes, they do look unbelievable right now, but they are in shorts and helmets, so it's a little bit hard. You can't see the offensive linemen go to work. You can't see the defensive pass rush. But you can see some of the things, like I said, the speed, the first step, the quickness, the explosion, some of the moves that they may have. But those moves may alter whenever they get the pads on. It may hinder them in some ways to where they're not able to make some of those moves in pads as they are in shorts and t-shirts. So let's break down what we saw yesterday. We went up there Sunday, the day after it had a heavy rainstorm in Latrobe. So the team started out down on the turf field, and that made them go down a different way whenever they were coming through the fans. So they didn't get to interact with the fans like they usually do as they walk down the hill towards practice, which is one of the Steelers training camp's staples. And really brings allure to the fans to where they can, give a high five or talk to or just see their players, their heroes up close and personal. And it gives the young fans such a good vibe and something to look forward to. Well, we've seen a couple players before practice, one being Alfonso Graham, who came out in a sling, did interact with some of the fans. I was standing by there. There was players or people asking him some just random questions, just talking to fans. He was signing a couple autographs, asking him about his shoulder injury. And Alfonso Graham gave us a good insight, which I'm not sure, what other people know about his injury, but he was out there saying to us, hey, I'm very optimistic. I should be out there soon. I don't think it's a big problem. Now that could change, guys. That could be different. He may have just said that. He may not have gotten a report of what's really truly wrong just yet. So, but he did say that he's eager to get back out there. He doesn't think that it's going to be a long-term thing. And that was from Alfonso Graham, just talking to the fans casually. Like I said, that may not be accurate, but that came out of his mouth. Hey, I'm optimistic on what's going down here. Jamonte Casey is in a boot. I'm not sure the extent. Mike Tomlin said that might not be something very serious, so we'll see. Jamonte Casey is going to play a big role in this Pittsburgh Steelers secondary, and I think he has to be on the field for them to have some success. I know there's some other players back there, Keanu Neal, players like that, but we need to have Casey. He was that replacement for Terrell Edmonds. He was the reason the Steelers didn't really truly pursue Terrell Edmonds, in my opinion. So we need Casey out there to complete that safety tandem in the back and really, really solidify that back end for the Pittsburgh Steelers defense here in 2023. So let's move on to I've seen some players really have the effects of some heat. You could tell that it was really bothering them. Well, not really bothering them, but it was playing a role in some of their performances. Keanu Benton, I think it was him or DeMarvin Leal, one of the two, had a little bit of breathing difficulty there due to the heat, which they're fine. It was just getting overheated and the exhaustion of the extreme heat there, especially here, guys, if you're not from the Pennsylvania area and you're not familiar with the way the summers work up here. When there's a heavy downpour of rain, the humidity is terrible here and it is nasty. It's sticky hot. The air just feels very heavy. And that creates some breathing difficulties for some of these guys and really just weighs heavy on your chest when you're walking around trying to do athletic moves at a high level like these guys are doing, especially on a turf field. And if you're down there on that turf, when that sun's beating on that turf, I don't think a lot of people take into consideration the amount of heat, the residual heat that's left over in there after it's just sitting there baking and it's just coming up and baking these players. And I know that that has to play a role also. Um, all around, I will say that the Pittsburgh Steelers had a good work day. Like I said, you can't really tell what they've got going on right now because they don't have the pads on. But all in all, for what it is, they had a good work day. I could see a lot of effort being given out there by a lot of players. I could see a lot of focus being put in by a lot of players. We had one player out there, Bradley, the one wide receiver that's here, that's a long shot probably to make this squad out there after practice, 6 o'clock almost in the evening, if not 6 o'clock, out there after practice, after just doing a 2 hour, 3 hour practice in that heat, still out there working and really working hard and trying to perfect his craft. And you have to give people credit doing that. Excuse me, had a little bit of a hair or something. But anyway, we seen him out there working as we were walking out of the facility at Chuck Noll Field, and that really was something cool to see. Just seeing the extra effort that's put in sometimes by some of these guys. Um, let's take a couple practice takes that I had seen. Anthony McFarland still looks super fast, super energetic. He's really come to play this year, and I really like him. And I know a couple other people have said that they like him, but now that I got to see him firsthand yesterday, and that explosion is really, really good right now. When he hits that hole and he hits that second gear, I mean, he is cooking, and I hope that he's able to really put that to use this year and not try to bounce everything to the outside and really just hit that hole and hit it solid. I coach youth football and I try to tell these guys, hey, we hit the hole and we don't stop. There's no hesitation. Let's learn that first. You can dance around and learn your moves later on down the road. But I think the most important uh, characteristic of a good running back is the ability to be able to hit the hole and explode through to get to that second level. Then that's where you can use those moves and those elite side steps and things of that nature. But you need to be able to explode through the line first. And I think Anthony McFarland has went back to the basics and really understands that now. And he's really showing it right now. And we'll see when these pads come on if he's still that explosive player through the hole and really makes a big stride to get to that second level. Then he can use his speed and athleticism to break things to the outside or bounce in, out, whatever he got to do. Also, Calvin Austin III, he seemed like a very big time player. He just fits in there. He just seems like he belongs. And you could see in his practice reps that he's really given the extra effort. He came up signing autographs. He knows where his bread buttered with the fans. He knows what it takes to be a good player. I think he knows now what it takes to be a true professional, and that's interacting with the fans. That's talking to media, and that's just being out there giving the extra effort and just showing what it takes to be a professional. And I like that from him. He looks like he belongs, and the ways they were using him yesterday with the motions and things of that nature, I think he's going to be able to, barring any injuries, be able to have a big season, as he said as much when he came up through with the fans. We asked him, hey, you ready for a big season, Calvin? He's definitely ready. He looks locked in. He looks focused. He looks just like he's ready to go, guys. And I really like the way Calvin Austin is playing. So that's something to look forward to if you're a Steelers fan, to have somebody that special in terms of speed and athleticism on that offensive side of the football to be able to do some quality things for this offense. Also, George Pickens, he's a stud, guys. He is a stud, and that's just what it is. He shines at everything he does, in my opinion. He has that tenacity, that roughneck football type attitude, and I really like it. He got into it with Joey Porter a couple days ago, not letting these rookies come in just getting whatever. Joey Porter, that's another guy. Before we keep going with George Pickens, Joey just seemed to be out of place sometimes yesterday. And I'm not no expert in any way, shape, or form, but it seemed as though he just, I don't know, was like a half step behind it at times. And I know a lot of people were saying that he's progressing in some great way. I just didn't see that yesterday, guys. I really didn't. I know there's a couple other people maybe out there that are probably agreeing with me, but when I was watching that practice, he just looked out of sorts at times. And I know he's a rookie. And again, we'll see when these pads come on, when he's able to use his physical nature to apply pressure to these wideouts. We'll see maybe if that changes things up a little bit and evens the playing field. However, he just didn't look quite where I think he should be at this juncture right now. I don't think that it's anything to be alarmed about, but I do think it's something that we need to keep an eye on. Joey Porter Jr. may not be that day one starter that we thought, but we'll see again, guys. I may be wrong. We just may need to see how this thing progresses a little bit farther down the road, which I think we do, but I think we need to really watch that position. Really didn't notice Corey Trice yesterday. Like I said, George Pickens always looks good in everything he does. He's the stud. He's going to be a big time player. I thought Kenny looked crisp at times. I thought he looked like he had good command of the offense whenever running 7 shots and things of that nature, and the one-on-one drills, defense, offense down there close to the goal line, doing those types of things. I thought that the Steelers utilized their personnel pretty decent by mixing up some of the wideouts, mixing up some of the tight ends. Connor Hayward, I think he's going to have a big year, guys, and he seems like he fits in this offense pretty well, and they're going to be able to use him in a lot of different ways, and his versatility, I think, is going to prove to be special. And I know it's tough in the NFL when you don't have a definitive position, but I think it works for Connor Hayward. I think his ability to be so versatile and his ability to just be mentally tough and just be able to do anything that they're asking, I think is going to prove to play big for Connor Hayward. And I think he's going to make a big splash this year. I think this might be his breakout season. We shall see. I like the way he looks so far when the pads haven't been on. But again, we'll see when them pads hit and when the pads crack. We're going to separate the men from the boys, and we're going to see real quick who's going to make this team and who's not. Also, my pick so far out of this camp that is going to come out of this camp as the stud, as the guy that has really stepped forward and made a big difference, and I think is going to be able to make some plays this season also, is Nick Herbig. The guy is humble. He interacts with the fans well. He really gives a shit, which a lot of those people don't. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Some of those players really give a bad vibe when they come through there interacting with fans and things of that nature. And I wasn't trying to get signatures. I was just actually just on looking with my kids, trying to get signatures and things of that nature, and just watching body language and listening to what they were saying. And some of these players just, I don't know. I don't get it. The fans are where your bread is buttered. The fans are the reason you are a wealthy individual. The fans are the reason that this league goes. And when you lose sight of that as a player, I think that you have a real problem. And I think some of them, I'm not saying all, and I'm not saying a player needs to go up there and sign autographs every day. And this will bring me to another point later down the road, but we'll get back to that. But again, Nick Herbig, looking like a real stud, man. He is fast. His first step is quick. He's not as small as you guys think he may be if you haven't seen him in person. I think he fits just perfect. And I think he's going to be a wrecking ball in the backfield, in the offensive backfield this season. And I think he's going to have a chance to make some big time plays. His first step, his get off is special, in my opinion. And he does have some moves. And I hope that transitions over to when we put these pads on, because I think he really has a chance to do some special things here in 2023. And he's my pick to be the camp darling, I guess they call him, or the camp standout this season for the 23 Pittsburgh Steelers. Getting back to what I was just talking about before I kind of went on my Nick Herbig tirade, kind of what I was talking about in the middle there. Some of these players really have to evaluate their interaction with the fans. Just from a guy looking looking on, not asking them for anything, not even trying to talk to them, just watching. You got to be better. And I know there's a ton of people there, guys. I get it. Once you start signing, it's going to take you a long time to finish signing. But some of these guys you never see sign anything. You never see them do anything with the fans. You just see them sneaking away, hiding from the fans. I don't think that that's a good thing to do. I think if you want to be a Pittsburgh Steeler or an NFL player for that matter, I think you really need to get in touch with the fan base and really interact as much as you can and give a positive message and a positive image of yourself to these people, because these are the people that pay your salary, like it or not. What it trickles down to, yes, the owners pay you, but the fans support this league, these teams. And I think that some of the players need to understand that is the reason they are wealthy, and they need to really take concern and really try to make a concerted effort to become better with the fans. Not signing anything. Yesterday was very dismal for a Sunday. My kid last year got 1 million signatures. The players interacted very well with them and were very nice. This year, my lord, there was like 5 people that came up, 5 players. You're not telling me that 10 other guys couldn't have came through on a Sunday and just signed a couple, or not even signed anything. Just run through there, give a couple high fives or say hello, something easy like that. That's all you have to do. You don't have to stand there and sign things. And I get why some of these players probably don't. And I want to point this out. Some of these adults that are out there that are sports memorabilia sellers, and they push these things on the internet and all that, and they're selling this stuff. You shouldn't have 2 plastic totes full of memorabilia trying to get it signed to be able to sell that. That is not what training camp is for. Training camp is for the fans. Training camp is for the young kids, where they meet their heroes and they meet their favorite player, and that hooks them to be a Steelers fan for life. And if that doesn't happen, and you got people that are hoarding all these players' time by saying, hey, sign this, sign that, sign this, sign that. Dude, come on. No wonder some of them don't want to sign. And I get that. If that's the reason some of them don't want to come and sign, I perfectly understand that. And I wouldn't want to sign either if that's the case. Some of these older gentlemen that are out there and they're just hoarding over the fence, all this stuff, trying to like give it out to all these people. Get a life. I'm sorry. I think you're ridiculous. You're childish. You shouldn't even do it. I was standing behind my kid, and there's 2 other little girls behind me that said, hey, their dad was talking about, hey, you got to stand here. You got to do this. I'm like, no, come right here in front of me. Get up by my kid, get up beside my kid. Let the kids have fun. That's what camp is for. It isn't for you weirdo adults out there that got to get all these signatures and all that stuff. And if that offends somebody, so be it. I'm going to be real on this channel, and I'm going to tell you what I think. And I think some people are a little bit weird with it. And I get it. If you want a couple autographs, cool, man. Hand it over. Be cool with it. But don't stand there like you're a 3-year-old with 25 helmets and 10 jerseys and all that shit, knowing damn well you're probably going to sell the shit, Just saying, just my observations. I may be wrong, guys, and if I am, I apologize. However, I don't think I am with it. I think some people are a little over the top, and it may deter some of these players from wanting to sign, and I can't blame them for that. That should be for the kids. Maybe the Pittsburgh Steelers, if you're listening out there, Steelers, anybody in the Steelers brass, maybe have a fan area for autographs for the kids, where you have to be like 13 and under, 14 and under, and let them go into one area to where they can interact with players, and maybe players can know exactly, hey, I know I'm doing this for the kids, not for a bunch of greedy adults trying to sell my merchandise. Maybe that will make more players want to sign. And I don't know if we just hit it on a weird day today or yesterday, to where some players just, had signed all week. They didn't really want to sign, but I was hearing things from other people that have been there several days already for camp, and they said that it hasn't been as much as last year. Maybe that will change. I don't know. We'll see. But this makes Steeler fans, the camp, the environment. Pittsburgh is one of the last few teams that do a destination camp. That's special, and we should take advantage of that as fans and keep supporting it. I know it's super expensive when they get you with the free ticket, Bart. It's not free. It's not. And if you go up there and you eat, you buy some merchandise. I mean, there's jerseys in there for $300, $400, or $175 with not signed, things like that people are buying. Don't be foolish. Don't buy that stuff. You can buy the same thing that is better quality for $35 on the internet, and it'll come and it'll be perfect. Trust me, I know. I know for sure you can. But yeah, don't fall into that trap. Maybe some of them food vendors. My God, you're raping people. Or excuse me, not raping. That can't say that word. But you're really screwing people over with what you're saying, man, or what you're charging with some of this stuff. It's crazy. I mean, there's no reason a drink should be $6, $7 or a lemonade almost $10. Come on, man. It doesn't cost you but more than $1 to make that. I could see $5 or something, but come on, almost $10. I paid it and I was stupid and I paid it all. So, I mean, it is what it is. But again, guys, it is what it is. So until next time, thanks for watching. Keep on watching Mike Drop Sports. I have a fly that's in the basement that's went past the camera about 20 times, and it's making me absolutely nuts. So we need to wrap this show up. Again, guys, I appreciate you. We did have a good day yesterday at camp. However, it wasn't my favorite camp experience, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. It was still Steelers camp. It was still fun. Maybe we'll post some of the videos that we got up there here in the next day or two, just so everybody can check them out. And until next time, keep on watching Mike Drop Sports, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.